President Donald Trump has tested positive for COVID-19. Both him and Melania Trump have COVID-19. This comes after months and months and months of Trump downplaying the virus, acting like not a big deal, blip on the radar, only really old people with heart conditions, they get it. Well, if that's the case, then what does it say about his health? So I got the news here. I'm going to go over some questions that we don't have the answers for yet, and potentially what the answers may be. But first here, Trump tweeting out at about 1 a.m. Tonight, Flotus and I tested positive for COVID-19. We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together. Again, remember, Trump has been talking about the virus as if only the really old, really sick get it. What does it say to his supporters when he gets it? Melania Trump tweeting out, as too many Americans have done this year, POTUS and I are quarantining at home after testing positive for COVID-19. We are feeling good, and I have postponed all upcoming engagements. Please be sure you are staying safe, and we will all get through this together. Now, I'll get to a lot of questions that I think people are wondering right now. But first here, some reporting from Raw Story. They're quoting the New York Times. Other aides to the president would not say whether he was experiencing symptoms, but people at the White House noticed that his voice sounded raspy on Thursday, although it was not clear that it was abnormal for him, given the number of campaign rallies he has been holding lately. He just held a massive rally in Duluth, Minnesota. Tons of people, massive crowd, most of them not wearing masks. He's spewing out there for an hour. He could have personally given people in the crowd COVID-19. Mr. Trump's positive test result could pose immediate difficulties for the future of his campaign against Joe Biden, his Democratic challenger, with just 33 days before the election on November 3rd. Even if Mr. Trump, 74, remains asymptomatic, he will have to withdraw from the campaign trail and stay isolated in the White House for an unknown period of time. If he becomes sick, it could raise questions about whether he should stay on the ballot at all. A lot of questions right now. A lot of questions. Is there going to be another debate? Did Joe Biden get the virus from the debate? Did Trump have the virus at the debate? Did Trump potentially give it to Biden and his family? Trump traveled there with his own family. Does his entire family have the virus? So this happened, by the way, shortly after Hope Hicks, one of his closest advisors, tested positive. So I saw that story last night. I thought nothing of it, as people around Trump have been testing positive, it seems like, since the beginning of this pandemic. So I thought, okay, whatever, Hope Hicks has it. Well, very likely Trump got it from Hope Hicks. Lindsay McPherson here tweets out, updated White House schedule removes Trump's planned in-person events. So just confirming that. Carl Quintanilla here tweets out, top advisors to the president described themselves as in a state of shock and said they expected a number of additional cases among people in Mr. Trump's orbit. White House officials had hoped to keep the news about Ms. Hicks from becoming public to no avail. They put more people in danger by trying to keep that private than making it public. Because who knows who Hope Hicks met with, who she potentially exposed even before Donald Trump. Jake Sherman here. So I saw this piece of news, or not new, or fake news online, that Nancy Pelosi had met with Hope Hicks after she had tested positive or around the time. Apparently, this is from a political reporter, Jake Sherman here. Not true. So Nancy Pelosi, it doesn't appear she was exposed, at least not through Hope Hicks, if she was exposed. Now, Andy Carney here tweeting out, Trump was accompanied by all of his adult children and senior White House campaign staff on Air Force One en route to the debate. All were seen without masks. Campaign manager Bill Stepien was seen on board without a mask and then was spotted getting into a staff van with Hope Hicks. It's very possible that Trump's entire campaign staff, at least the senior members, all have the virus. Lots of questions. So let me bring up some of the questions that I wrote down here, because this is insane. As I discussed, does Biden have it? Which also throws into question the future debates. So the next debate is on October 15th and then the 22nd. I guess the 15th would fall maybe right in line with the end of the quarantine. But, I mean, how bad is the case going to be? Is Trump going to be really sick? Is he going to show symptoms? Are they really going to want to hold a debate on the 15th, like the day of the end of the quarantine? This is, if you thought the race couldn't get any crazier, it just got crazier. So there may not even be future debates. Who knows? Especially if Biden potentially has it. I mean, they were both on stage there for 2 hours, just about talking back and forth. Yes, they were distanced, but, the way Trump spews, would not be surprising if Chris Wallace and Joe Biden have the virus. He's been meeting with his Supreme Court pick. Does she have the virus? Does McConnell have the virus? And of course, the big question, will his base, the Trump base, take COVID-19 seriously now? My response to that is probably not. And not until, if he has a serious case of it, maybe parts of his base will take the virus seriously. But I can guarantee you right now, if he has serious symptoms, they're going to twist it into some other kind of, conspiracy or something. So really, regardless of this outcome, I don't see the Trump base taking the virus seriously, but I don't know. What I do know is that this is nuts. This is nuts, and who knows what's left in terms of a curveball during this election.